Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Daily English Buddy. I am Justine.
And I am Alex. And today we are talking about one of the absolute most terrifying experiences you can have when you move to a new city.
Yes, we're talking about the absolute chaos of navigating public transport in a foreign language.
We have both made some terrible, embarrassing mistakes on buses and trains. Today, we are sharing all of our disaster stories.
We really have. But before we tell those stories, remember to grab today's free PDF study guide from the description below.
Please download it, guys, because navigating a massive city like London or New York in English is basically a survival situation.
Exactly. Public transport has its own complete set of vocabulary. If you don't know the right words, you will definitely get lost.
Right, or you will end up paying a lot of extra money. So let's start with the very first thing you have to do, paying for your journey.
Okay, so in English, the money you pay for transport is not usually called the ticket price. It is called the fare. F-A-R-E.
Yes, we say bus fare or train fare. For example, you might ask, "Excuse me, how much is the bus fare to the museum?"
Exactly. But these days, in big cities, you don't even buy a paper ticket from a person anymore. You usually just use your contactless bank card or your smartphone.
Right, you walk up to the electronic gate at the station and you tap in.
Tap in. That is a crucial phrasal verb. It means you physically touch your card or phone to the yellow electronic reader.
Yes, you tap the reader, the little gates open, and you walk through to the train. It is very fast and very easy.
But you must remember to tap out when you leave the station at your final destination.
Oh, yes, you have to touch your card to the machine again when you exit. This tells the computer that your journey is finished.
If you forget to tap out, the system thinks you are still traveling around the city all day. They will charge you a massive penalty fee.
I hate when I forget to tap out. You check your bank account the next day and wonder where your money went.
It is so frustrating. But honestly, paying the fare and tapping in is the easy part of public transport.
Oh, if that is the easy part, what is the hard part?
Dealing with the unwritten social rules. English people take their public transport rules very seriously. And I learned this the hard way during my first month in the UK.
Okay, I need to hear this. What did you do, Justine? Did you break a major rule on the bus?
I did. It was a complete disaster. Well, I was traveling home during rush hour.
Ah, rush hour. For our B1 learners, that is the specific time of day when everyone is traveling to work or traveling home from work.
Exactly. Usually around 8 a.m. or 5 p.m. During rush hour, the buses and trains are completely packed. There is absolutely no space.
We actually have a great idiom for that. We say we are packed like sardines, like little fish squeezed into a metal tin.
Yes, packed like sardines. So I pushed my way onto this incredibly crowded bus.
During rush hour, you are brave.
I know. And to make it worse, it was raining outside. So everyone was wet, their umbrellas were dripping, and everyone was in a terrible mood.
Ugh, the absolute worst combination. Rush hour and heavy rain. What happened?
Well, magically, as I walked down the aisle, I saw one single empty seat. Nobody was sitting there.
Wait a minute. An empty seat at the front of a London bus during rush hour?
Yes, right near the front doors. I thought, wow, today is my lucky day. This is amazing.
Justine, please tell me you didn't sit there.
I was so tired from working all day. I sat down immediately. I didn't even look around.
Oh no, that was a big mistake.
I put my big headphones in, I closed my eyes and I completely relaxed. I thought I was a genius for finding a seat.
How long did your peaceful relaxation last?
About 2 minutes. Then I felt someone tapping very aggressively on my shoulder. Not a polite tap, a very angry tap.
Who was it? Was it the bus driver?
I opened my eyes and there was an angry older lady standing right over me. She was holding a walking stick and she looked furious.
She was ready to fight you for that seat.
She really was. She pointed her finger to the window directly above my head and yelled, "Can you not read the sign?"
Oh, the sign. I know exactly what the sign said.
I took out my headphones and I looked up. The sign had big, bold letters. It said, "Priority seating."
Ah, yes, the famous priority seats.
I was a B1 language learner at the time. I didn't really know what the word priority meant. I just thought it was a nice, big seat for anyone to use.
Listeners, priority seating is a crucial vocabulary word. It means those specific seats are legally and socially reserved.
Yes, they are reserved for older people, pregnant women, or people with disabilities. They are always near the doors, so those people don't have to walk very far.
You should never sit there unless the bus is totally empty. And if someone needs it, you have to offer it to them immediately.
I felt terrible. I stood up so fast, my face was bright red. I apologized to her about 10 times.
Did she accept your apology?
She just grumbled at me. I had to stand in the corner of the bus for 30 minutes while everyone stared at me. It was awful.
Hey, cultural mistakes happen to all of us. That is how we learn. But honestly, buses are fine because they move slowly. Trains are where the real danger is.
Oh, definitely. Train stations are huge. The platforms are confusing. And the speakers are terrible. Have you had a train disaster, Alex?
Ugh, I had the absolute worst train disaster. I was trying to visit a small town outside the city for the weekend. But first, just buying the ticket was confusing.
Oh, was it because of the British and American vocabulary differences?
Exactly. If you want to travel somewhere and then travel back home later, you need two journeys. In the US, you ask for a round-trip ticket.
Right, because you are making a round circle back to where you started. But in the UK, you have to ask for a return ticket.
Yes, and what if you are only going one way? You aren't coming back.
In the US, it is a one-way ticket. But in the UK, it is a single ticket.
Okay, so US is one way and round trip. UK is single and return. It is very important to remember.
So which ticket did you buy at the station?
I bought my return ticket. I looked at the big digital departures board, and it said my train was on platform 4.
Ah, the platform. The concrete area where you stand and wait for the train to arrive.
Yes, you always need to check your platform number because they can change at the very last minute.
That is so true. Okay, so you are standing on platform 4.
The train rolls in, the doors open, and the automated voice plays over the speakers. It says the most famous phrase in England.
Mind the gap.
Yes, mind the gap. It means be careful of the dangerous empty space between the train door and the concrete platform.
It is such an iconic phrase. Okay, so you minded the gap.
I stepped onto the train. I sat down. The doors closed and the train started moving out of the station. Everything was perfectly fine.
But I can hear a but coming.
But then the train driver made an announcement, and the speaker system was terrible.
It always sounds like they are talking underwater or with a mouthful of food.
Exactly. He mumbled something like muffled noise, express, muffled noise, no stops. I totally ignored it and just looked at my phone.
Oh no! You heard the word express and you ignored it?
My brain didn't process it. For our learners, a local train stops at every small station along the way.
Yes, but an express train skips all the stations and travels super fast to a major city far away.
Right. And my stop was supposed to be exactly 10 minutes away. It was the very first station outside the city limits.
Oh, Alex, what happened when you reached your station?
The train did not stop. It zoomed past my station at 100 miles per hour. My friend's town just disappeared in a blur out the window.
You must have panicked. Did you try to talk to the inspector?
There was no inspector. I opened Google Maps and I just sat there and watched my little blue dot moving further and further away from the city.
How long did it drive for without stopping?
2 hours. 2 whole hours, Justine.
2 hours? Where on earth did you end up?
I ended up deep in the countryside. When the doors finally opened, there were no buildings, just fields of sheep and cows.
You wanted a 10-minute trip and you ended up with the sheep. How did you get back?
I had to wait in the freezing cold for an hour for a local train going back. It took me 4 hours to do a 20-minute journey.
Oh, that is a brilliant, terrible story. But Alex, you used some very specific grammar just now.
I did? What grammar rule was it?
Yes, you talked about getting on the train. This is honestly the biggest grammar trap in transport.
Ah, the prepositions of movement. Yes, B1 learners always struggle with this.
Exactly. Listeners, pay close attention. In our previous episode, we taught you the walk-around rule.
Right. If you can walk down an aisle, you are on a train or a bus. If you sit immediately, you are in a car.
Yes, that is for locations. But what verbs do you use when you are actively entering or leaving the vehicle? The verbs completely change.
It is confusing, but there is a logical pattern. For big vehicles, buses, trains, planes, you combine get with on or off.
So you say get on and get off.
Yes. Hurry up, we need to get on the bus. Or, excuse me, I need to get off the train.
But for a small vehicle, like a personal car or a taxi, you cannot use on or off.
No, it sounds completely wrong. You must combine get with in and out of.
Exactly. You say get in and get out of.
So you say, it is raining, quickly, get in the taxi.
And when you arrive, let's pay the driver and get out of the car.
Please, do not say I got off the taxi.
Why? What does that sound like to a native speaker?
Native speakers will imagine you were sitting on the roof of the taxi like a surfboard, and you jumped off into the street.
That is a very funny image. But wait, what about bicycles or motorcycles?
Ah, good point. For bicycles, you sit on the outside surface. So, you go back to the first rule. You get on the bicycle and get off the motorcycle.
Okay, golden rule time. Get on and get off for big transport and bikes. Get in and get out of for small enclosed transport like cars.
Perfect. Okay, Justine. We have covered fares, tapping in, rush hour, priority seating, tickets, express trains, and tricky grammar. It is time for the Buddy Rapid Fire quiz.
Oh, I am ready. Put me on the spot, Alex.
Question 1. If you are in London and you buy a ticket to go somewhere and come back later, what is it called?
3 seconds. It is a return ticket, but a round trip in the US.
Correct. Question 2. What do you call the awful time of day when everyone is traveling to work and trains are packed?
That is rush hour.
Exactly. Question 3. If you hear "mind the gap," what are they warning you about?
The dangerous empty space between the train door and the station platform.
Spot on. Final question, a strict grammar test. You are leaving a taxi. Do you get off or get out of the taxi?
You absolutely get out of the taxi. Unless you are riding on the roof.
You aced it. Perfect score. And if our listeners want to ace their own grammar tests, do not forget to download the free PDF study guide. The link is in the description.
Yes, grab the PDF. And before you go, tell us in the comments, have you ever gotten completely lost on a bus or train? We want your disaster stories.
Yes, I need to know I am not the only one who ended up with the sheep. Subscribe to the channel, guys.
Thank you for joining Daily English Buddy. Mind the gap, keep practicing, and we will see you next time.
Bye, everyone. See you tomorrow.